and welcome to this episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the lands and airwaves of Naarm where this conversation was recorded. Land which was never ceded. Land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to their elders past and present and to any First Nations people listening today. Today I'm talking to Salvatore Giorgio and Rocco Esposito at Bar Rosella. It's always lovely to catch up with chefs and see what they're up to. I first met Salvatore when he was at Bar Bambi, and then I had my 300th chef chat with him when he was at Marnong Estate. Salvatore has been working in kitchens since he was 11 years old. He loves the adrenaline rush of service, appreciates a well-organised kitchen, and he's certainly always up for a challenge. Since starting at Bar Rosella, he has changed the menu and upped the food ante. Wine was already well sorted by owner Rocco, who was group director of wine at Vue de Monde, as well as owning his own hospitality businesses. He lives and breathes hospitality. Now, spaghetti all'assassina may well be on your radar since Stanley Tucci's Puglia episode came out, but Rocco's from Puglia and he's been serving the dish every lunchtime for 2 years at least at Rosella. It remains on Salvatore's menu. What an absolute delight to sit down with these two men and chat about food and wine, stories and connections. Rocco even gave me a bottle of his 49 Chardonnay to take home with me. The label bears a beautiful image of the number 49, adorned with flora from his land in Beechworth, as well as a bright and poignant Rosella on the brink of flying away. Rocco's motto is food, wine and telling stories, and I think that's perfect. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, good, thank you. It's beautiful here. I love the vines hanging over the... Yeah. Was this Gertrude Street in Antica?
Correct.
Ah, okay, wow. And how long has Bar Rosella been here?
Just over 2 years.
Yeah. When I said I was coming here, I mentioned to a few people, they said how great it is here. So, and the food is really yeah, so that's... how long have you been here?
Just start of the month I started.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure it was someone who ate here within the month.
Oh, we hope so. We hope so.
And so, what kind of food are you doing?
More southern, but more Puglian food.
Yeah.
Because the owner Rocco, he's from Puglia.
Yeah.
So hand in hand, it matches pretty well.
So, what is that kind of food?
Do you know where Puglia is, roughly?
Just remind me.
So you've got the heel of Italy.
Yeah.
So it's east of Naples. So Puglia, they're famous for the orecchiette.
Oh, yes.
The little ear pasta.
Yeah.
What else? Focaccia.
Sangiovese, please.
Yeah, so they're famous for a lot of things. The burrata cheese, obviously.
Ah.
That's where it originates from.
Yeah.
Orecchiette, focaccia barese, which is a focaccia. There's a lot of Primitivo, the wine. Yeah, and also Rocco.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Rocco, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Joe, yeah.
And he's an expert on wines.
Oh, fantastic.
Studying to be a master of wines.
Yeah.
Quick task.
Yeah.
How's things with you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Busy day?
It has been busy.
That's
yeah.
good.
So you've been here 2 years?
Yeah, we opened in March 2021. No, 2022, my bad, yeah.
Yeah.
How it came about, I used to be in another premises in Cambridge Street.
Okay.
Where, you know where Smith's and Daughter is now?
Yes.
In there. I was in
Okay.
there. So they used to be called Project 49.
Yeah.
It later was branded Rosella, under Bar Rosella, but was branded on the 16th of March 2020. The 19th of March 2020 we went into lockdown. So it didn't have the lifespan that it should have had.
Yeah.
Then on the way back from all these clumsy lockdowns, the landlord just put a bit of a hard blowtorch on our face, saying, okay, now we want all the money back plus the interest, basically acting like APRA, that being the government body for any banks in Australia. And we said, well, look, that wasn't the deal with the federal government. Unless you just want to go ahead with that, we just have to pull the pin, which we did. And then when I was walking up in, I saw this place came up for lease. And I used to live just in Little Smith Street, and I remember how good this was, just to come in and have a glass of wine. The only disappointing part of this place was that there was never a kitchen. So you've had your cod cuts and your quiche or your mushroom tart here and there, but if you wanted to have a pasta or anything like that, it was no way, unless there was an event upstairs where they used to have this kind of small domestic kitchen. But I jumped on board. There were a few people that wanted to have this place. I just pushed it through, and there you go. We transformed it a bit. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever been here since Enoteca was here, Gertrude Street Enoteca.
I came when it was Gertrude Street Enoteca, yeah.
So it's kind of different now. Like, there was an upstairs dining, but you were only allowed to go there if you were an invitee. And you had to go to another door and all that, so we just rejiggled all around. But we also added the kitchen here, the kitchen upstairs, and a courtyard.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I do like the courtyard with the barrels and so on. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Tea towels drying.
That's a typical Italy look.
Is that setting the scene? Italian.
There's such a southern Italian feel.
Yeah.
So that's that. And the idea about Rosella was to basically create a restaurant that was going to showcase, and in fact it does, where I come from, which is Puglia.
Yeah.
Which, yes, I know it's the hot destination now, but it's not just because of its prettiness, but even because of the food. And I thought I'm silly if I don't actually wave my flag and say I am from there and beat my own chest on that. I'm not trying to be vain or like put myself up, but to do that, I basically initially I wrote the menus myself, purely because I was the only one from there. But it came to a point that things weren't going that well with the kitchens and all that. And with Eric, the manager, we were talking about we do need someone that understands Southern Italian food. And then he said to me, "Oh, I've got one for you." And this is how Salvatore came about. Touch wood. What? Week number 3 now.
4th.
Number 4. Jesus, already. It's going pretty good. I can say the food is just like lifted. The whole game has just been lifted now.
Yeah.
So it's great. You feel good about that.
Yeah. So it's quite different to Marnong Estate. So how many does it seat here?
We have a capacity of 44 in this room between the start of the year, about 26 outside, and 24 upstairs in the dining room. So you're looking at almost 100.
Yeah, but it feels small and cozy.
It does, yeah.
Intimate and so on. It's
Yeah, I like that kind of, call it bistro, call it trattoria, osteria, kind of squishiness about.
Yeah.
I feel I perform better. Not me as waiter, like me as operator. I perform better in spaces like this than huge places. When I was at Vue de Monde, it was great, but bloody hell, this is like way too majestic.
Yeah.
A table of 2 was as big as this. So hey, you can fit another 6 in this.
So you're front of house and.
Yeah. So I was. I joined Vue de Monde in 2011 as director of wine. So I was basically the wine director for the whole group.
Wow.
Till 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. So I made a mistake.
Yeah. And then you wanted to go out on your own?
Well, look, I had... so when I'll give you a bit of a background story. When I first came to Australia, I worked at a place in Fitzroy Street called Bortolotto's Cafe Menace. It lasted about 3 months because then the family that owned that place were given the space for free at Crown, which was called Cicconi's Restaurant. And then from there, they moved to Flinders Lane. But I left Cicconi's in, it would have been April 2004. And moved to Beechworth 3 hours away from here. And then in October that year, I opened a restaurant called Warden's Food and Wine. And I had it until the end of 2009, so 2010. Yeah. And then I had a gap, not a gap year, but 1 year I worked at a winery doing marketing and sales and stuff like that, and wine training for stuff. And then after that I worked at Vue de Monde. Then of course, once you have your own business, doesn't matter how cushy you might get in someone else's business, you still get itchy feet. Mm-hmm. And I thought, let me drop you. I opened a deli in Beechworth called Project 49, which now my ex-wife runs.
Why Project 49?
Because, see the land there, the photo?
Yep.
They represent, that is my land in Beechworth, which is located on 49 Resom Lane.
Okay.
And we had a project
Beautiful.
that, we wanted to put where the shed is, we wanted to demolish the shed, put a huge, sort of, kind of a barn feel.
Yeah.
But then do your own veggies and all that stuff. So everything that came from the land would have been jarred or bottled or cryovac to then be sold through our store in Beechworth. So that was the project. The other project was the first project that came out to fruition from that land was a Chardonnay that I make, which I still make, again called Project 49. And then obviously my ex-wife's best friend, being in advertising, they said, if you ever do anything else, just keep on calling it Project 49. So, naively, I thought, that's probably a good idea, but it kind of didn't make sense at the end because, the name is so English sounding, yes. And what I do, it's so Italian, and it just doesn't actually make sense. Mind you, I don't want to become Project 49 coffee, Project 49 wine. It's just way too much, right? And then I changed it to Rosella, and why I changed it to Rosella is because on the wine label there's a little bird, so I'll show you actually. There's that's the original color label, but the ones on retail, they actually don't have the color, but they have a golden pattern around.
Oh wow.
So 49 represents the number of the land. The illustration around represents the flora and the fauna that I see each vintage on our land. Amazing. So that changes every year, right? The only thing that doesn't change is the Rosella bird. Now, there's a double meaning on that. Apart the fact that we see these birds on the land every time. But the project was going to be myself, my ex-wife, and her brother, which was a hostage negotiator for federal police. But he then was diagnosed with a very bad form of cancer, so he had to stay part of the police force. So we made him part of the project, saying, just to give him an incentive to leave, because he was only given 6 months to leave. We said, well, just come and spend time with us. Maybe we can make wine. You can sell it through your own channels and your friends. So every time he was on our land and having a break between tending the vines or picking grapes, he used to sit down, and all these beautiful Rosella birds were just landing on his arm. So just before releasing the wine, the very first label, he passed away 2 weeks prior. So we decided to redesign the label by adding a Rosella bird on the side. So then later when I decided to rebrand, I didn't know what to use. Yeah. And it wasn't a morning, I'm talking about now 3 years ago, then about. I thought I'm going to go to this breakfast meeting. We put the blind up. The night before I had a glass of the Chardonnay, I put the blind up, and a ray of sunshine just landed on that bird. And I said, I think that's an omen. I think the name of the restaurant should be Rosella. So I called the Rosella factory, tomato factories and all that. And I said, I've got this idea, but I've got this issue. Oh, yeah. Can you help me work it through it? They suggested what to do. Call it Rosella Dining Room and Bar, or Bar Rosella, which I then later registered. And that's how I got away with it. Wow. So that's why we call this place Rosella.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, maybe you didn't know this story, so now it's good that you heard that. Now, yeah. So it all stemmed from the bird on the first part of the project that I had, which is the wine.
And it is so beautiful. I can admit,
Yeah. Take a video. Take this small video. It's a 2017 vintage.
Oh,
Take it.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right. Don't use it in cooking. Just
No.
chill it down.
No, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's lovely to hear the stories behind.
Yeah, and
things.
that's good. That makes more sense when you drink it.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Australia?
It was a relationship that didn't work many years ago, and what I said to Mum, I'm going to go there for 6 months, learn how to surf, and come back. 27 years later.
Can you surf?
I still can't surf. But I've got 2 kids. Restaurant,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So yeah.
And what is it that you love about, or I hope that you love about hospitality?
Look, it's a big question, and you can have numerous answers. I think this draws me back to when I was a kid. Like I went to hospitality school, but I think I learned hospitality from mum and dad. And my mum and dad don't work in hospitality, but they are very hospitable people. Mum and my aunties and grandma as well, they all spent time in the kitchen doing, the kyakkere, the oroket and all this stuff. And it was so good that, when I started with all these Christmas lunches and, all this kind of stuff, it was great that I was the only kid wearing a little cloth. I think I'll serve the tables, and I thought, maybe that's the part that I have to take. And there I am now, still doing that, but not because I just like carrying plates. I just like the fact that it's combining flavors and then later discovering wine. So combining flavors from food and combining with wine, I just thought, what, that's, doesn't matter how many times I'll change up, I still I'll draw back to this. So,
I think it's really interesting you said about they were really hospitable, because I said that to someone recently. We were talking about hospitality and about what it takes to create a great ambiance and to welcome people in. And I was saying, well, at the end of the day, hospitality, it's about being hospitable. And he was like, that's right. I was like, I never thought of it like that. And because he was saying he wanted to be welcoming and so on, and I just think it's interesting because some places don't feel very welcoming because they're so pretentious or whatever. But the idea is, like you want to be hospitable. What do you love about hospitality, Salvatore?
Just like I've always said, when the customer's happy, that's the main thing for me.
Yeah.
it is a satisfaction.
Yeah.
You learn along the way that, particularly in my case, not so much into the kitchen scenario, I guess, but it could well be the same. It's not about how much you know about food, and it's not how much you know about wine that makes or break who you are in terms of from the professional side of thing. But it's how I deal with different people and how I can manage to suggest something that it's going to create a memorable experience. Doesn't matter how fine dining or how casual they might be. That to me is a win. It's a win. So, like if a guest walks out of there and it keeps coming back, and we must have ticked the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and that to me is a great satisfaction. Yeah. You can always make mistakes. The pasta could be too cooked. Maybe suggesting the wrong wines, this and that, but we're very quickly recognising this, but we try not to get on that part, of course.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Wine has opened up a lot for me, like in terms of career things, and I just have so much joy and pride. So hey, then when you're eating, I've got the wine for you. I think the wine list, I keep printing them. And then I keep changing because the items run out and I have to replace them. But then I look through and I said, geez, this one hasn't even been used. Now we've got to a point where just people don't even look at the one list, just leave it to us now.
Yeah.
So creating that trust, it's another way for me to say, okay, this is the reason why I love my job.
Well, it's the same with, I love just saying to chefs, just, give me what you want, what you want me to eat. Because then I just think, you know best, and you know best about wine. So yeah. What's the ideal dining experience?
Shall I get the menu? Yeah. We'll do 2 seconds.
So there are several courses? Do you start with snacks? Or
So we've got like a stuzzichini, which is like finger foods, like obviously oysters. We've got the focaccia. We've got different types of olives from Puglia, the Cerignola, the Gaeta olives, and then we threw in some lupini beans, which is a staple of Puglia.
Oh yes.
And then we've got wagyu bresaola, and then on the entrees we've got fave cicoria, which is it's a must-have in every Puglian house, probably on a daily basis. It's a broad bean puree with sautéed chicory, which is sautéed with garlic and chili. So it's almost like a hummus, if you want to say, and that's an everyday thing. What else have we got? I should know my menu better.
So you've made the menu?
Yeah.
You didn't inherit a menu, no. Oh yeah, wow, that's delicious.
There you go.
That's dessert.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a feed me menu for people like me that just want to not to make any decisions. That's delicious. Yeah, nice. Okay. I love it. So it's a small kitchen. Are you making the pasta?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
we make it. We've got another kitchen upstairs as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So certain things from the kitchen will come, like all the mains will come from upstairs,
Okay.
some entrees, and then the pastas will come from here, certain entrees will come here, because before they were just doing it in one kitchen, and it was cramped. So
Yeah.
you've got both, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Much better layout. It's not the most ideal and convenient thing, but it seems to work pretty well now.
Yeah.
What are you making there?
Oh, that's just the water for the
Oh, just
pasta.
water. Oh.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I know, it looks
Steam
so good.
up.
I know. When I was at university, I worked in a French bakery, and it was a franchise. This is in New Zealand, and they would get all of the bread brought in from a factory, you know, like the French bread. But we had like one of those bread machines that of
Right.
smelt like bread.
Nice.
I see what's happening here. Just looks like you're cooking. Yeah. Wow, I love it.
You've never been here? First time?
No,
Yeah, that's
sorry.
right.
I know.
Don't be sorry,
I
it's
will
fine.
come. I will come back.
Don't need to be sorry, it's fine.
There are so many places, and then you're like, oh, there's lots of places I absolutely should have gone to.
Oh, Melbourne looks like a small town, but it's quite a big place, and there's so much hospitality venues, so many hospitality venues. It's just like, I know we keep reading about the ones that closed down, but there's so many opening up as
There
well.
are so many opening up. That's
Yeah.
right. What a great part of town to be in as well, Gertrude Street. It's just
Yes.
so happening, isn't it? And so many different regions of Italy to
Yeah.
explore
And
as
sort
well.
of Puglia hasn't sort of been discovered much in Australia. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not strictly Puglian. We do things, but it's generally a southern Italian feel. Definitely is a southern Italian feel, which I kind of like that. You know, like if you look at the southern Italian cuisine, like we take shape and forms from all those barter system which had happened many hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So you know, there's Turkish flavour, Lebanese flavours, Spanish flavours, and all that. So there's southern Italian cuisine. It's like a so-called bordello between all of the nationalities that have gone through that neck of the wood. Unlike the northern Italian cuisine, which is slightly more refined, yes, and it's probably, you know, traditionally it has a French influence.
Yeah.
And an Austrian vibe, a German vibe. So
Yeah.
if you look in all this kind of, bollito misto and all this stuff, just like they used to do back in the days up in the northern part of Europe. So it's kind of, even though the northern Italians and the southern Italians, we never like each other, it happens even on the food front, you know. Yeah, we don't think that we cook better than them, even though
we do.
I could say that yes, we do.
Without a doubt.
You know, but it's got, you know, like my mum said to me once, if you were to put a national dish, which they do everywhere in Italy, now call it spaghetti aglio olio e peperoncino. You got exactly the same recipe, one from the south cooks it, one from the north cooks it, inevitably the one from the south is the one more like, because we add an extra ingredient that's called love. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Because in the north, it's all textbook. Like, I'm not trying to say that you can see the passion and this and that and the stories, but the ingredients are the same. Like, nothing is, what if I do this for a minute longer? Like, just put that extra little care.
And a lot of the top chefs that are in all the Michelin star in the north of Italy are originally all from the south.
Wow, okay.
And that's not... That's
So maybe it's as you say, the people from the south... Is it sunnier in the south of Italy?
Yeah, definitely.
We're more warmer, they're more colder.
So they take that with them and they go and be top chefs in the north as well.
Yeah.
See, that funny little side story, which kind of relates to what we were just talking about. I got into wine and I started to focus on that so much that every time I go back overseas now, and you know, there's mum and dad and aunties and all that, and I talk, like, there's a bottle of wine on the table that generally we don't drink poshy wines there. We just, the wines that they make next door is the one that goes on the table, right? Which is kind of that mystic word of terroir. It's where it comes from, and that's when it tastes good on the table because it's just made there. But every time there's a good bottle of wine on the table and I start to talk about the vintage and all that, Mum says, you talk about wine just like we talk about tomato sauce, because they make tomato sauce for the whole year.
Yeah.
So and then sometimes they keep a bottle from 2 years ago, a bottle from 3 years ago, and sometimes they try it. So I remember that there was hotter back then and all this stuff. And that's how I talk about wine.
Absolutely, that's
So
right. And there's that
you talk
story
about wine
and
like we talk about tomato sauce.
yeah, and the memories and the collective, like, people come together to make that as well. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and that's another thing. In south of Italy, and we tend to relate ourselves, when it comes to produce and products, we relate ourselves thanks to our neurogastronomy. What does this dish remind me of? Does it remind me of my grandma? Does it remind me of my cousin? What does this one? Oh God, remember that time when we went to the cellar and blah blah blah.
Yes.
So we use a lot of, we have our references always neurogastronomy, and that's why on the way out you might see right up above the door, the place is called Rosella Dining Room and Bar. That's the business legal name. It's known out there as Bar Rosella, but our motto is serving food, wine, and stories.
Yes.
And that's basically what, that to me, it's that point of difference. Like people say, oh, what's assassin's? I know everyone knows what the assassin is because Stanley Tucci just released this Puglia video and all he does is talk about assassina. And before that, Google will tell you pretty much what it is, but it's not until you come in and say, what's spaghetti assassino? Just like that half a minute story, you're going to say, hang on a minute, yeah, I'll have that. And again, that builds trust, because obviously you need to be backed by the produce, and the product needs to be good. So there's no point telling a story if it's not backed from real stuff. And that's what basically splits us apart, in a way.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm all about the story.
Well, that's it, Maybe the next restaurant I'll open is food, wine and bullshit. I can come up with a lot of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's so nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and
wine and bread.
Oh,
that is delicious. It tastes.
Well, that's the Holy Communion right
buttery,
there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of oil in it.
Ah, so good. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with the Chef with Salvatore Giorgio and Rocco Esposito at Bar Rosella. If you liked what you heard, you can check out all the goodness on Instagram at bar_Rosella. That's ROSELLA. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, and I have to say there's quite a few, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can also read the chat and become a subscriber at www.conversationwithachef.com. I'd love it if you told a friend about my chats, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thanks for listening. Have a great day and bon appetit.